Tonight on Duck TV News, changes to the local bar scene, a new way to find produce, and how Eugene is celebrating Black History Month. All that and more tonight on Duck TV News. Good evening and welcome to Duck TV News. I'm Izzy LaRue.
And I'm Eric Wasserman. We got a jam-packed show, so let's get started. It's Wednesday, but tonight you won't find any $2 beers being served at Taylor's Bar and Grill. In fact, you won't find any alcohol being served at all. The Oregon Liquor Control Commission disbanded the alcohol license at the bar last week. This comes after 42 serious incidents were reported within the last 2 years. The bar had been using a temporary license since last June. On Thursday, customers were met with a sign saying they were closed. But Taylor's reopened again on Friday, and hundreds of customers gathered outside the bar for Customer Appreciation Week. The bar first opened in 1922 and has served generations of UO students. Monday was the last night Taylor served alcohol. Some students were shocked, while others say they saw it coming.
This is probably the place that most people come to. Like, there's good music. Okay, there's good music sometimes. So if they play more lit music, turn this into a club, I'll be back out here.
I was here the night where the guy got shot, like right outside. And also, I just feel like it's a really creepy place.
Taylor's is on probation for 6 years.
Residents in 2 eastern Oregon counties are petitioning to become a part of Idaho. It's been more than a century since any U.S. boundary has expanded or changed state lines. But some people in Douglas and Josephine counties say that their conservative beliefs aren't being represented in Oregon. The movement is called A Greater Idaho, and they hope to get on the ballot this November.
For those of you interested in local farm products but don't know where to look, a University of Oregon alumnus has a solution. Reporter Evelyn Tedrick tells us more.
All the Farms is a website created by Jim Couples that aims to link local farms to their urban communities. The website is an accessible platform where site users are able to see farm location, product quality, and so much more. It's about creating a transparency between the buyer and the producer. Taking it one step further, users can even add goods to their shopping cart and get farm fresh delivery without leaving town.
Urban and rural communities, they're 100% interdependent, right? It's usually from those rural communities that are growing our food, and that's where our food systems are located. But they also need the customers who are usually in urban areas.
The site has dozens of filters to help people connect with local farms and find the perfect product that they are looking for. Sharon Blick, owner of Living Earth Farms in Eugene, thinks that the website is a great way to gain access and exposure to a much-needed larger audience.
All the Farms website could be really helpful in helping to get local farms to get more customers so they could sell more of their products. I mean, we've done some analyses on, like, if we sell everything we grow, we could actually make a really pretty good profit.
All the Farms is extremely interactive, averaging about 750 hits per month. And it's no surprise. Just with a quick search of Eugene, Oregon, I found dozens of farms in our own local area.
What you could buy from a local farm is way better than what you could buy in the grocery store.
For Duck TV News, I'm Evelyn Tedrick.
Thanks, Evelyn. The website will continue to give local farms exposure in hopes to attract more people to visit and shop year-round. Now let's toss it to sports with Erin and Andrew.
What's up, Eugene? Welcome back to Duck TV Sports. I'm Erin McMahon.
And I'm Andrew Lee here rocking with you. We got a lot to cover. From basketball to eSports, let's get rolling. When you're in California, you don't think about rain. But anytime Steph Curry is in the house, you know it's raining threes. Opening play, Mignon Moore finds Sabrina Ionescu wide open in the corner. Ruthie Hebert gets not one, but 2 blocks on this play. And on the other end, Sabrina dishes it to Ruthie off the pick and roll for the finish and one. Erin Boley was money from deep. She finished with 24 points, going 8 for 9 from downtown. And it's Sabrina throwing a no-look pass to Satu Sabali. And Sabrina just continues to make history as she dribbles through 3 defenders, finishing with a reverse layup for her 25th triple-double. Your final score, 93-61. On Monday, the Ducks faced 4th-ranked Stanford in the top 5 showdown. But before the game, Sabrina was in LA giving a speech at Kobe Bryant's memorial. And she became the first player in NCAA history to eclipse 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, and assists. The Ducks came into Palo Alto saying, "Stanford, you can get a taste. Oregon is first place." Your last chance to watch the Ducks before the Pac-12 tournament is this weekend. Friday against Wazoo, and UW on Sunday.
This past weekend, the Oregon men's basketball team battled it out against the Arizona schools. On Thursday, the Ducks fell short to the Arizona State Sun Devils. With only 10 minutes left, the Ducks carried an 11-point run to tie the game at 54 points. However, the Sun Devils picked up momentum and managed to hold off the Ducks even after another scoring run. The game closed out at 77-72. It was a Saturday night celebration for the Ducks, who sealed an impressive win against the Arizona Wildcats. The final score was 73-72. Both teams were neck and neck the entire game, but with 1 second left, it was Shakur Juiston who hit a game-saving layup. Juiston scored all of Oregon's 9 points in OT, matching the energy of Peyton Pritchard, who boasted a career high of 38 points. The Ducks will return home from Arizona and play against Oregon State in a Civil War matchup this Thursday. With spring term just around the corner, it's hard not to think about all the athletes who will be leaving the University of Oregon for good. Reporter Brett Taylor gives us the inside story on one of these athletes and what's made her journey so unique.
Julia Shedd is part of the University of Oregon tennis team, but what you may not know is she packs one hell of a voice. And I'm on a track that I can't get off of, even though. But singing didn't come into Julia's life till much later. At a young age, everything was about tennis.
I just remember waking up in the middle of the night, like an epiphany almost. I was like, I need to play tennis. And so I called my mom and she's like, what? Like, it's late, Jules, I'm asleep. And I'm like, I just need you to remember to get me a tennis lesson when I get back home.
Life was good for a while until she suffered an ACL tear 2 weeks after signing her letter of intent to Oregon. A full year of life without tennis. So what did she do?
So I was like, well, what else can I do? What else am I good at that could unite people and empower and inspire, whatever. I thought about it for a while, and then I was like, well, I like writing songs. Like, maybe that could be a thing that I try.
And it fit perfectly like the guitar in her lap. Julia's published 8 songs since her injury and is currently working on more. But why does she continue?
I think it's just her joy. I think that's her happy place. I think it's her creative outlet. I think inherently she's a creative person.
Julia may still not know what lies after college, but what she does know is her end goal in life and in music.
It gives me a chance to make other people better. And I like that. It gives me like a sense of purpose.
Reporting with Duck TV Sports, I'm Brett Taylor.
Thanks, Brett. We wish Julia the best of luck in her future tennis and songwriting careers.
Well, you know, Julia, Esha, and the Ducks women's tennis team split the weekend. On Friday, Oregon and Illinois went back and forth in a slugfest. The Ducks took an early lead in doubles, but Illinois fought back in singles. Emily Casati put a nail in the Ducks' coffin with a double bagel against Maddie Olson as Illinois won the match 4-2. Saturday was a nail-biter as the Ducks took on Northern Arizona. The game went down to the wire. Lillian Mold won the deciding match for the Ducks in an extra set. The Ducks will head to California to face St. Mary's and Fresno State this weekend. The University of Oregon had a big weekend celebrating the emergence of eSports on campus. Nathan Torres has more.
Have fun and welcome to the eSports Lounge. We're open for business.
Students were lined up wanting to get a glimpse at the new eSports Lounge in the EMU. This space will become the new home of the university's esports teams, as well as for all students wanting to get a leg up on their competition. The lounge is not just a place of play, but also a place of community, in which Maxwell Foxman, professor of media studies, discusses.
So I think that that's part of the real value is that it's not just for the players, it's for anyone.
The university then hosted its first Business of Esports event, bringing students, faculty, and business insiders to network and talk about all things esports. The whole day was filled with panels of industry professionals talking about how to achieve a job in esports and that there are many different routes than just being a player. These events show the growth of esports, said by UO alumni and freelance writer of esports, Mitch Reams, who came back for the event.
The biggest thing that these events do is, first of all, they're a testament to how far universities have come on the esports front, especially UO. And what I think it does is it educates people about all the jobs across esports, because it's not just playing games, but there's all these different opportunities.
The event was topped off by a show match between UO and NCU League of Legends teams. It was a way to recognize and show that esports is a spectacle to watch. The opening of the eSports Lounge and the Business of Esports Conference was the University of Oregon giving recognition to the esports and the future of it on campus. Reporting with Duck TV Esports, this is Nathan Torres.
Thanks, Nathan. The eSports Lounge plans to host future tournaments and watch parties. And for more coverage on UO Esports, follow DuckTV Esports on Twitter and Instagram.
It was an exciting weekend for the Oregon baseball team, who swept the Nevada Wolfpack in a 3-game series. On Friday night, it was a walk-off win, with Kenyon Yovan hitting a single to push past the Wolfpack by 1 at the bottom of the 9th. This was new head coach Mark Wazakowski's first win with the team. The final score was 3-2. Saturday might have ended with an identical score, but Sunday was a different story. The Ducks were a force to be reckoned with consistent plays throughout the entire game. Big shout out to Jack Scanlon for hitting his first career home run. The Ducks look to play Milwaukee this coming weekend. That's all we have for tonight. Be sure to check out our social media to keep up with all things Oregon sports. We hope everyone has a fantastic Week 8.
Now back to Erik and Izzy at the news desk.
Thanks, guys. Last Saturday, the NAACP held a dinner to promote diversity in education. Members met at the Valley River Inn for an annual Freedom Fund dinner. This year, the event was held to bring awareness to a lack of diversity in schools. Pablo Alvarez, Environmental Justice Policy Coordinator for the NAACP, tells us about this event.
So the Freedom Fund Dinner is meant to be the primary fundraiser for a program in the NAACP called ACTSO, so that's ACTSO, and it's an interscholastic competition that happens specifically for students of color.
Thanks to funding for the programs like ACTSO, the NAACP has provided more educational opportunities for students of color. Alvarez says the NAACP is working to get more teachers with diverse backgrounds and more inclusive learning material. Now let's check in with Allie in entertainment.
Thanks, Izzy. If you're looking for local music made in Eugene, here are some upcoming performers that you should keep an eye out for. First off, we have Splash Downey. Splash is a rap and alternative creator with lo-fi beats and water-based aesthetics. His debut album, coming in March, keeps every song under 2 minutes, hence the album name, Let Me Get a Minute. Splash's first performance will be next month. Next, we have electronic DJ Kella Lit. Kella Lit has played the McDonald Theater, the Whiskey Bar in Portland, and almost every venue in between. She is currently working towards the release of her new untitled EP, which will focus on a lighter side of the DJ, instead of her usual Chains and Flames. Then, we have the Theta Chi House Band. Comprised of members from the Theta Chi fraternity, this cover band performs hits from Drake and Josh to The Strokes. Their style is alternative, with some influences of other genres worked in by individual bandmates. Though not releasing any music online, the band is popular for their house shows. The next house show and lineup will be announced in the spring. Now that your playlist has had some new additions, let's get back to the news desk with Erik and Izzy.
A family is suing the city of Eugene after they say police mishandled a mental health situation, fatally shooting a man in crisis. Reporter Mario Ponce has a story.
There's an ongoing lawsuit against Eugene for $7.5 million by the family of veteran Brian Babb, who was shot and killed 5 years ago by police when experiencing a mental crisis. Cahoots, a local nonprofit organization, is a response that for situations like this one. Tim Black, Cahoots operations coordinator, shares his thoughts on crises.
It's okay to have a crisis. It's okay to have a bad day. And it's also really important to know that it's okay to reach out for help in those moments when you're experiencing that crisis.
The organization prefers to handle dangerous situations without uniforms, instead directing staff to approach people in hoodies and jeans for a non-threatening reaction. Operations coordinator Heather Saliki talks about how Cahoots may be a better first choice with mental crises.
Cahoots, having them do mobile mental health response is awesome whenever that can be done instead of having to resort to police intervention.
Although they've had a long and successful working relationship with Cahoots, the police still has procedures and guidelines to protect public safety. As part of their training, all officers at the Eugene Police Department go through a crisis intervention training program designed for dangerous situations.
So I think we just really need to work a lot harder as a community to make sure that people receive help when they need it, and that situations like that never happen again.
For DuckTV News, I'm Mario Ponce.
The lawsuit trial will continue throughout the rest of the week.
The U of O Board of Trustees are voting on raising the tuition rate. the Tuition and Fee Advisory Board is recommending a yearly 3% increase over the next 4 years. Afterwards, the board plans to keep the tuition rate locked in for the next 5 years. That's all for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And be sure to keep up with us on Instagram and Twitter at DuckTV News. Have a great night, Eugene.